Hello everyone and welcome to KDH art class. Today we're going to do some textiles and we're going to use the technique called macrame. Macrame is a fancy way of saying tying knots. So we're going to be tying a lot of knots and we're going to create, it could be a keychain, necklace, window decoration, even a little pot holder. So you can do rocks, you can do toys, you can even use your old Easter eggs. You just need some sort of yarn, string, rope to create with. I happen to have something here called crochet thread, and we're going to be using that. You're going to need scissors to cut with because we need to cut this down to the correct size. You could just use some jute twine. Any of these string-like fabric materials will work. So textile is a type of fabric. It could be different weavings. It could be sewing projects. Anything that really has to do with like a wool, felting, textiles. Clothes are textiles. But in this case, we're just going to simply use it to create a little macrame project. So here's an example of taking just a simple rock and wrapping it with the macrame technique, and you have a nice little necklace. You can even finish it off by braiding the ends. Or you can take your Easter eggs and you can cut them in half, and I think I'm going to use this lighter one because you would be able to see the contrast. You can see the string better on the lighter one. All right. If it's attached, you just simply need to give it a little snip. And you can actually put those little succulents or air plants in there to grow. And my little eggs here actually have holes in it for drainage. It'd be perfect for my little plants. That's entirely up to you. So we're just going to use probably one of them, not both of them. And we're going to need your choice for 20-inch pieces of string that I looped at the end, or you can do 8 10 inches of string. So 8 at the 10-inch or 4 at the 20, and we fold it in half, which makes it into 8. Whichever way you would like to do it, there is no right or wrong in art. You could do more strings if you'd like, but my ruler is actually 18 inches long. So I'm going to always start at the 1, stretch it down. I have the full 18. 18 plus 2 makes 20. So I'm going to take this little spot and give it another 2 inches. And that's where I need to cut. It does not need to be perfect, but as you can see, my string is now longer than my ruler by about 2 inches, so that's about the right length. I can get my ruler out of the way, and I can now do 3 more that are the same length. So to make this go a little bit faster, I'm going to line up the ends, stretch it out to the same length, give it another snip, so that's 2. Line up my ends, whoopsie, stretch it all the way to the other end. There's number 3. And I just need one more. Line up my ends. And again, it does not have to be perfect. I do have some students that I work with that, oh, it's all about it has to be perfect. You don't understand, Miss Howard. And I love them for it. They are going to be your perfectionists in this world, and we need those as well as the artists like myself, which are a little bit more free spirited. I can put my scissors away, I don't need that anymore. And since I did the 4 at 20 inches, I'm going to fold it in half. And this is the type of knot that we're going to be doing. It is a circle. Like around your finger. Let me move my finger out of the way so you can see that it's a circle. And then I'm going to take all the ends through that circle, just like shooting a basketball into a basketball net. Make sure I have 1, 2, 3, and where'd you go? 4. Instead of pulling, you're going to notice that I'm going to do a lot of pushing. I'm pushing my knot down to the bottom. Pushing my knot down to the bottom. Okay. That way I kind of control more where my knot is going to end up. All right, so once we have those done, now I'm ready to start separating and tying more knots. So you're going to need to separate them by 2s. 2, 2, 2, and 2. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8. Got all my strings there. My finger is going to be my main measurement. I'm going to wrap around my finger, and I'm going to make sure my finger is right there by the first knot. All right. I'm then going to take my other end through that circle. And again, not pulling, but I'm pushing my knot down till it is about 1 finger length away from that knot. So you notice my knot is not way over here. It is touching my finger on each side. Okay. So now I can give it a nice little tug. That's those 2. Get my next 2. Wrap it around my finger. Get my finger out of the way. Take the other end through the loop. And pushing, not pulling, my knot. So it is about 1 finger length away. Halfway there. 2 more. My next one, around the finger. Again, get my finger out of the way. Take the other ends through the loop. Not pulling, but pushing it so that it is 1 finger length away. Finger width, not length. I'm sure my math-minded students have already figured that out. And last one, around. Pull the finger out. The other ends through. Pushing. So it's 1 finger width apart. How wide is my finger? I have a pretty wide finger there. Okay, there's our first round. We're going to need to do 3 or 4 of these. But this is where it gets a little bit more fun. So each strand is made of two. We're going to separate those two, and I'm going to take one from this knot and one from that knot to make my new partner set. Then when I separate these, I'm going to take one from this knot and the other one from that knot to make my partners over there. And when I separate, I'm going to take that other one there and there, and these two up here will be partners in a minute when I get this all situated. So I'm going to start with these two new partners. Go around my finger. Finger out. Take the ends through the loop, and it's the same knot. And again, pushing so that it is the width of my finger. And ta-da! Let me see if I can show you this a little bit better. There you go. So you see you have the two knots here and the new knot down here. Let's come on over to these partners. Put those knots kind of together around my finger. Pull my finger out. This one's being more difficult. It's okay. I will persevere. I will not give up. There we go. Pull it through. And one finger width. Push that knot up there against my finger. Okay, there's two of them. Let me come on over here. Get one from this knot. And grab it with that one. We need to get out of the way. You need to get out of the way. There we go. Wrap my finger around. Pull my finger out. Make sure I go through the loop. Now, if you're not used to tying knots and it's not working, that means you did not go around your strings and you went through the loop the wrong way. For example, if you were playing basketball, instead of the basketball going through the top of the basketball hoop, you went underneath it and through it. So if you're going underneath and it's not making a knot, then you need to go through the top. And if you're going through the top and it doesn't make a knot, then you need to go underneath. You'll need to do the opposite. All right, my last two strings. Through I go. Again, make sure it's one finger width. Pushing that knot up against my finger. And now I've done two sets of knots. And here, I'll show you with my stone what's going on. So when I put my stone all the way in, you can see the neat little pattern that's starting to form. Now, we're not using the stone, we're using the little Easter egg section, our new pot. And you would line up that to the bottom. And see a little pattern going. Alright, so we're going to need to continue taking one from one knot, one from the other knot, one finger's length away, that out of the way, pull my finger out, through the little loop, make sure I'm one finger length width away. Made that same mistake again. Until I'm concentrating. Alright, take the other string. And where's my next one? There you are. I like to keep putting it down here so I can kind of see what's going on. Aha, that's the one I want. With one of these. Circle it around, the finger out, two strings through, and by now you've probably already figured out how to tie the knots, and you're going so much faster than I am. Just like my students do. Couldn't be more proud. Okay, and separate this one. Partner it up with that one. Go around the finger. Through the loops. One finger width. It's kind of small. And there's that last string, and where's my other last string? There you are. So it's going to try and get confusing on you, so you need to keep checking. I tell my students that I do tutoring with that it's just like the STAR test. They're going to try and trick you to make sure you know what you're doing, so always keep checking. Alright, so now I have 3 strands, and that should be enough for my Easter egg. Collect my 4 little strands. My 4 double strands. There they are. And I am ready to tie it off. To help me out, you're going to notice I'm twisting it. Make all 8 of those strings look like one big thick one. Around the finger. You'll put all 8 into that big thick loop, pushing it down, and you now have a little pot. Put some potting soil, some pebbles, and a nice little succulent of your choice. If you want to make your strings a little bit longer so that you can tie it on to a nice little tree branch and hang it outside, you can do several of them, all in a row. Mix it up with some nice little rocks, and you'll have a beautiful display of your macrame artwork jewelry, pot holder, or whatever your creative mind would like to create. Make sure you go online and subscribe to KDH Art Class to discover some new projects that I keep putting online as often as I can right now during these crazy times in April of 2020. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.